Bhagavan appealing to the various Shaktis in Arjuna. Like all of us have this. They are called the the emotional side, the volitional side, and the intellectual. All of us have. Some of us have tremendous willpower. That's called volitional. Some of us have tremendous emotion, and some of us have tremendous intellectual ability. The Vedic ideal is to develop all three equally, which means we must lead with our strength but pull up our weaknesses alongside. Bhagavan knows that Arjuna's main strength is action. So he starts with do this in the first few chapters. But then he's always weaving into that the thread from the very beginning of the emotional and the intellectual also. Then slowly he pulls him more into the emotional and past it into the intellectual. But again, in the end, he says, don't stop these three things, because he wants to make sure that the volitional part of Arjuna, which is still an important part of his life, he doesn't give up. Don't give it. Don't give it up. Sublimate it. Keep it in its right place. Sannyasa doesn't mean giving up. People think sannyasa means giving up. Sannyasa means keeping everything in its right place. Sannyasa is the highest ideal of oughtness. The way things ought to be, that's how things are in your life. When everything in your life is exactly how it ought to be, you're a sannyasi. Every action of yours is exactly how it ought to be. When judged by a jury of divine peers, your actions are exactly how they ought to be. Your relationships are how they ought to be. You can consider you become a sannyasi, because then you no more do your passions have sway on you. No more does prarabdha have a say on you. It doesn't matter what happens. You will do exactly things the way they ought to be done. You will feel the way you ought to feel. You will know things the way they ought to be. So he's slowly trying to develop Arjuna's those faculties into that highest level. So that is what I meant. It is not mentioned in the shloka. That will be too crass for Krishna. He is appealing to these very, very artistically.
Thank you.
Okay, I have one more
Yeah.
simple one for you. So can you give a few examples of how we can do yagya in daily life? I know it's kind of spoon feeding, but let's start with that.
Well, you first go and find out what are the Panchamaha-yajnas.
Okay.
And then when you write down what are the Panchamaha-yajnas, it will be very clear how you can execute each of them every day. You're supposed to do the Panchamaha-yajnas every day. Okay. Obligation towards gurus, obligations towards rishis, obligations towards... Just see. I don't want to tell the full answer. You all see. Go and see Panchamaha. You can Google it also.
At least that's a good hint.
Yeah. But, I mean, everything, don't Google it and then take some Google version of reality. Okay? I mean, be a sadhaka.
Go by Shastra.
Yeah, no Google Shastra. Google is useful because sometimes it might give you a hint on where to look.
Yes.
Laziness means you don't actually look there, instead you just stop there. Use that in a nice way.
Okay.
Okay, one question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Yagya, Tapas and Dan. We talked about that.
What? Yagya, Daana and Tapas. Say in the right
Tappa.
order. Yagya, Daana, Tapas. Don't change.
Okay. Yagya, Dana and Tapas. I believe you can do Yagya and Dana, but Tapas would be the most difficult part of it if you want to excel in all the three, or if you want to achieve all the three. Dana, when we talk about Dana, we have always heard, even Gita says that Karam Karan Fal ki Ichha mat kar. But I believe whenever we do any Dan or something, there is a selfish interest attached to it. And how do we... Is it okay to have that?
You read the 18th chapter. You go look up Daana in 18th chapter. It addresses all this.
Okay.
Take a look and see. And Tapas, not so hard. You sleep on a bed?
Yes.
Start sleeping on the ground. That first tapas.
Sometime I have to, if the bed is small.
When you don't have to, so that's very important. Tapas is suffering difficulty. You don't have to. Very
Okay.
important. When you have to, it is not tapas, man. It is suffering. Suffering is not tapas. Is accepting suffering for the sake of the Lord. Accepting
Okay.
suffering that you don't have to accept, and saying this is fun because I'm doing it for Him. Feeling it,
Okay.
not saying feeling it. You must feel it. That incredible joy of that suffering. It's not that I'm not trying to make this into some kind of saddest thing. It's not like that. There is actually a palpable joy when you have said, I will do this, and that feeling, it's not a feeling of achievement, it's a feeling of giving something to somebody you love. Unless you love God, you can't do tapas. Without loving God, if you do tapas, it becomes the tapas of it becomes a very Western tapas. It's a tapas to improve yourself. But tapas to improve yourself is very minor. Tapas for the Lord, out of love for the Lord, is very serious.
Okay. Yep.
That's a big correction for me.
Yeah.
Because I do, but then I do it for the sense of achievement, though I do.
Sense of achievement, then.
I mean, that's how it comes,
Yeah.
right?
Remember, Yagya, Daana, Tapas has been told as basic things that are obligations. So it is very important when you think about the life. Okay. When you're doing something to fulfill an obligation, it can't also be an achievement, right? An achievement must be to do something that you're not obliged to do, but you're then doing anyway and achieving something, right? But when you're doing something for an obligation, not doing it is a problem, but doing it is just ticking a box, right? A box that you're supposed to tick. When you're doing tapas, you have to connect that obligation with your love for God and say, the fact that I love you, oh Lord, and that I feel your love for me creates an obligation that makes me want to do this for you.
I think it's like nature.
Huh?
Like, I think it's like nature, because if you look around in nature, like for example, a tree will be providing shade without any sense of achievement. The sun will be providing you sunshine without a sense of achievement. I guess if we mold ourselves or sync ourselves in that sort of way, then we can also be in sync with.
Yeah. A tree is very exalted way it provides shade. We cannot even begin to aspire to that. But love is more simple. You can aspire to love. Right?
Right.
It's a tree will provide shade to everybody without any care about who they are. This is not that. That is so high. If you can do that, then you are beyond Yagya, Daana, Tapas. I am telling about doing something for that God that you love.
Right.
You know. Because I've been saying this because saying this in this gathering, because we all are sadhakas and we all are sadhakas in the Shankara Parampara. We all have a ishta and we have to relate to our ishta. There are ways of doing this for someone who doesn't believe in God also. You don't need to believe in God to start doing sadhana. But since we are all already down a certain path, it makes it easier. But you don't want God to become a crutch for your sadhana. Therefore, you have to feel love and do it. Otherwise, God becomes a crutch for your sadhana. I will do this sadhana and He will protect me. No, that's no good. Right? He might well protect you, but that's not the point. Because those things can be disappointment also, right? I'm doing this so that He protects me in this situation tomorrow, and tomorrow I remain unprotected. Oh my God, God has let me down.
That's more of
All that danger. What?
That's more of a selfish motive to do it then. If you're doing
It's not selfish. It's not selfish. It's transaction.
yeah, exactly. More like
Transaction.
Yes.
So there are different. That's what I'm saying. Let's not go into that, because as you go into these things and you read that 18th, 17th chapter, there are ways to think very hard about what are the things we are doing wrong, and slowly allows us to sophisticate ourselves. Keep everything. This is self, this is transaction, this is egotistic. I slowly eliminate that and retain the pure sadhana. Only when you enter into it, you will be able to figure it out. All right, anything else? Any other questions? Okay, so we have something to do for 2 weeks from now. I'm not here next week, but 2 weeks from now we can get together and we can discuss this, but discuss this with some seriousness, which means I would suggest people write out what they have to say as opposed to just come cold and come up with remarks in the meeting. Write down, try to think about, read what the Bhagavad Gita says, write it down, think about that. That gives you something to think about every moment of the day for 2 weeks. That's a lot of time. Okay?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
First of all, I'm so happy to see all of you together. and very immature question, Balaji. You said we should not look up to him for seeking protection. And in response to Aditya saying that it will be selfish, you said there will be transient.
Transactional.
Transient. So essentially, where we identify ourselves with this body and mind and whatever is happening around us, we most of the time are operating on this level where this trajectory thing is our reference point in connecting with whatever our identity, our interaction, our aspirations. So in essence, it becomes difficult. What you are saying, maybe intellectually, I can understand slightly, but if you want to elaborate.
Elaborate means make it, so don't make it intellectual. Instead, that's what I'm suggesting. Don't worry about the intellectual part. Instead, appeal to love. Love is never transactional. Work can sometimes be transactional. Love is never transactional. When you feel, ask to feel the love of God, not ask only for Him to protect you from your own prarabdha. That is too menial a job for this God of ours. Protect me from my prarabdha. Hello, why? Right. As they would say in Ahmedabad, hello. Right. Surely, this God that we love, we cannot put him into this job. In creation, I am born this way because of a prarabdha. Now, please protect me from this damn prarabdha. Okay. First of all, very circular argument and also very menial job. Instead, elevate to the love of the Lord as your very, very own. And then all the protection you're providing from you. Sublimate your actions into love. That is easier for us to achieve now before we achieve some highly intellectual reason. It's not needed. That love of Lord says, you will do whatever is right, and it might look like protection, it might look like no protection. I love you, I can feel your love, do this tapas for you.
Can I try to answer for like what I think when situations like that come?
Yes.
I think if something is happening, I have full faith in Him that it's happening for my own. Even if that's bad, even if that's that's putting me into a very hot soup, I still think that if it's happening, then it's happening because I need to learn something from it, and it is the best thing that should happen to me right now.
Good, that's a good way to think about it. Fine, that's perfectly fine. I mean, each of you will find that, all of us find that our thoughts like that sophisticate over time. But that's a perfectly good place to start, saying that the universe is meant to teach me, so it's teaching me all the time.
But I feel that that thought shouldn't be action though. That's that thought of if you're being in the universe and everything is happening for my greater good or bad, and He knows that shouldn't lead to inaction. We should still perform our due diligence. We should do our duties and stuff, and it shouldn't stop us from performing our actions.
Of course, that is why you keep you keep Arjuna as an ideal and you keep Krishna as a guru and you proceed.
Right.
Don't try to be Krishna, you better be Arjuna. Right? No, of course, we have to be even greater than Krishna, but at the way we are now, we have to be good Arjunas. Okay, so let's catch up. Huh? What?
Let's start there.
Let's start. But don't forget the Swamiji's bhajans about like Dhira Bano and all, which says Krishna se bhi Suchar Bano. Your ideals have to be Krishna. You might well start at Arjuna. Ideal has to be greater than Vyasa and Krishna put together. No small feat. So we'll meet 2 weeks from now. Of course, if you guys want to meet before or something, that's fine. Otherwise, I am available 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks is actually a good time because I commitment for everybody for once a month. So now we do it twice a month. I don't want to make it.
Yeah, and then, for everybody, so Somu, you can close your ears. Close your ears. Only Somu, close your ears. Everybody else is invited to a shibir in Michigan.
Shivin?
Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah. On what day is it? Memorial Day.
Memorial Day, I think 28th and 29th.
28th and 29th.
Somu will participate on Skype because the visa situation doesn't allow us to. Aditya, you're definitely coming. And we'll have a chance to discuss some more things in person. Okay?
Okay. So Bala, 2 weeks, you mean May 6th? I mean, May 7th?
7th.
Just see hand the camera.
So I'll take confirmation from everybody else and then I'll post it on the.
I have to hop now. Okay?
Jai Shankar.
Jai Shankar.
Everybody else for 5 minutes.
What is it?
You can leave.
Everybody?
Everybody else stay.
Oh,
We're going to talk about
yeah, sure.
talk about
Right.
that was really good.
It was a good session. Yeah.
तू चलेगा क्या अपने स्वामी
Somebody
चलेगा क्या?
summarize the session. I think that.
स्वामी जी चलेगा क्या?
बालाजी.
बालाजी चलेंगे?
हाँ वो चले. उनको जाना था.
अभी अपने आराम से कुछ भी बात कर सकते You are sleepy? You meaning Sharda. Yeah, because on my screen I just point. It is very cool, Swami. It's so cool. And this back screen, everybody is looking very.
I know this is so nice. Everybody can see everybody at the same time.
I slept at 2 o'clock, but still it was good actually. I joined this.
I'm glad.
Actually, maybe camera.
We're taking a picture.
So, I have a question.
Okay.
The question is that with Pillars of Light, do we continue reading it or do we not read it as a group?
Yes, we do, because he said, you didn't read, because he was talking about page number 9 today. Like, we were discussing that.
Actually, I think the way he's going to discuss now is that you read the whole article and then we'll discuss on it as a whole and then try to get some points from it. So today he focused on.
Can we maybe use the Samvid Samvad discussion forum for that, possibly?
I think that'll be great.
That'll be great.
That'll be great. We can do it. So, and I made a summary for the last session also, which I forgot to share with everybody else. So I think I'll just post it there as a document, so that, and I'll make a summary of this session as well, so that we have it.
What was the action? In 2 weeks we'll be meeting. We have to read and then come back. Was it from this book only?
No.
Homework is one, we need to read the article, Pillars of Light Vada.
Okay.
Read chapter 18
And 17.
Yeah.
17 and 18.
Yes.
17
Okay.
and 18 to understand Yagya, Daana, Tappa. And
Just to go over, if you have an English version of or like in a translation version of, then you can just use that as a reference. So basically, on page number 9 of Pillar of Lights, Bala uncle was mentioning about.
don't say page number 9 because I've sent them youth culture.
Oh, okay. So, anyways, in the first article itself,
It's like the
there's
sixth paragraph.
there's basically a reference to Daana. So obviously we talk a little bit in depth about it today, but I was ready to more in the depth of it to 17, 18 chapter. That's what he was mentioning.
So the homework is to read the article, to read 17th and 18th chapter, and to try to do some action in Yagya, Dan, and Tappa every day, and to make a note of it. What did you do today? What little Dan you did, what little Tap you did, or what little Yagya you did. So either all three in one day, or you can do twice. Like the first week, I'm going to focus on Yagya. So I'm going to do some little practice that helps. That basically
Now,
is
waking up on Sunday 7 a.m. is the top form of a top.
No, Soumya, what did he say? How do you do Yagya? There was some explanation by Balaji when he was saying do Yagya. It is
Yagya mein he said that you don't have to necessarily perform a Yagya like Agniwala Yagya. Obviously, you can do small little practices like even giving water to plants is a kind of Yagya. That was the one example he gave. But he also said when I asked for more examples, he asked me to read Panch Maha Yagya kya hota hai? Because that's also an homework. So that's an obligation that you have towards the rishis, towards I think Pitra ko bhi hota hai, and towards
To communicate with universe. That's what he mentioned. To communicate with your mother, with Guru, participate in the world. Planting a tree is a Bhoot Yagya kind of thing.
Bhoot Yagya.
Essentially, what he also mentioned is, Yagya is the environment around. So, like, for example, Daana is actually the person, and the Tappa is the pramada. You and yourself, right? So Yagya is more about the principle and the environment around you. So, like exactly, like you have plants, you have nature and stuff. So, relating to that.
I have a question for you. Instead of he gave us an assignment, so I think we should be concrete about it. So let's post the exact assignment on the Discord.
I'll put it in the group as to the homework you need to do. And he said that it'll be nice if we can proper notes. We have 2 weeks time. 15 days is a long time.
The question I had was if you read that paragraph, that paragraph, if we read it, it basically gives us a guideline for the essay that we're going to do. It tells us pretty straightforward. So if you read that, I can read it real quick.
If everybody has time to go through that paragraph once. Okay with everyone? We'll go through that. We'll read that paragraph.
Yeah, that paragraph. I think that if we read that paragraph, I think it encapsulates what Balanku was saying in a manner.
Yes.
And it's pretty much our for the assignment we have.
Can you read it?
Okay. Begin with simple practice.
If you have okay, second. Can you tell the page, Sharda?
The first paragraph?
No, the paragraph which talks about Yagya, Dan and stuff. I think that's the 6th paragraph.
The 7th paragraph.
I think it's 6th or 7th. Okay. Practices.
And what about in the youth culture PDF?
Sharda bata de.
Where it is?
Sharda bata de. Actually, youth culture is divided into 2 books. Yuva Sanskriti and Sadhana and Pillars of Light. वो हिंदी इंग्लिश अलग कर दिया इसलिए but I don't have any copy of Pillars of Light. I've sent youth culture. Sharda, did you find it? Which paragraph are you looking at? Then I'll tell you if it's before or after.
So the first paragraph is great, Master. Second is now it's time. Then by I do not mean there are pillars.
Yes.
If night is long, begin with.
Yes, begin with simple practices.
Okay, 123.
Page 120.
Okay, ready?
Go ahead.
Yes, ready.
Okay. Begin with simple practices of Yagna, Dana, and Tapas. Refer to Bhagavad Gita for detailed description of in daily life. No form of life is too modern or too fast as not to need or accommodate these practices. Improvise your own forms of application. Compare notes with brother aspirants. Search, experiment, discuss, and find out the factors that impede or oppose the Sambit way of life and discover means to eliminate.
Yes.
So the basis of chapter 17 will allow us to answer this question, I think, or not to answer, to elaborate on his desire for us to search, experiment, factors that impede or oppose the Samvit way of life. I think it's a good 2-week project.
It's more of an R&D project, basically, I would say. Like, it's more research and development of results and researching on what exactly the 3 forms of things are.
Yes, this is exactly what it is.
Yeah, man.
What did I miss?
Well, I'll talk in technical terms. This technical term is basically the project, like research and development of ourselves. So
yes.
So, yeah.
But let's start with like the level that we can do. Let's not get too. I'm not talking about you guys.
Anyway.
I'm generally saying, let's not get into, like Balanka said, let's not get deep into the concepts as to what it is, what it's not, and wanting the highest level of stuff and the highest level of fun. Let's try to do things we can, and then move forward from that.
Okay.
So, I think let's summarize the whole thing once. Radha, you wanna try?
Oh, no, I was saying May 7th. I wasn't trying to summarize.
Okay.
You know what? It'll be easier that way.
No, but let's verbally summarize it first, and then I'll try and make notes about it and post it as well.
Sure.
Okay, so then Balanka started with how to use the most natural faculty that you can. So for most of us, it's not our intellectual capacity which is the most, what do you say, like the best part. So it might still nice to read Swamiji's books and try to understand concepts, but let's not get stuck into big concepts like Brahma and Nirakara, all those concepts. Though a basic understanding is fine for now, because if you try too hard, you might try to understand it in a manner which is incorrect. The easier thing to do is to feel love and to do something. Those were the 2 things that he mentioned. After that, he said that the advantage of reading Swamiji's books are that, one, it's available in English, so because we're all more comfortable with that. It's a simple style without sacrificing the depth of concept. And the third thing is that it's action level. You can actually put it into action. Then he said that, can someone else talk about Swadhyaya and Parayana? I didn't make notes about that.
Yeah, I think he was just saying that, like, there's 2 types of things one can read or study. When you read something and fully understand it at your own level, I think that's called Swadhyaya. And then if you're reading from a scripture, like something which you might not really understand, but just reading it multiple times will make the text reveal itself to you, that's Parayana.
Yes, so that was there. And then he said that we should try to feel love for God and feel his love back at a more intense level, as try with a few instances first, and then it should get more intense as you go forward.
Also, he mentioned the 2 concepts of Arohana and Akramana as like climbing a mountain, right? And Akramana is like establishing. You can't just like start something and just like climb it, but like if you just climb and not establish yourself in that environment, you will suffocate and you will die, right? So you have to basically peak the mountains and be able to establish yourself at every level while you're peaking.
So take baby steps, take
concrete steps.
Take baby concrete steps, then establish yourself at that level, and then move forward. Don't try to run, or else it's not going to sustain. Then he talked about Yagya, Daana, and how Swami has said that it's the simple practices and that no form of life is too hard or too fast for it. And he said he referred to Gita, so the last 2 chapters, which is our homework. And then about Yagya, he said how we participate in the world with the environment around us. Dana is how we deal with people around us. If somebody is in need, it can be need of anything. And when you're not obligated to do it, or when it's not the basic principle of Guru principle or the mother principle, and then when you help somebody, then that is what for the betterment. Obviously, then it is Dana. For Tap, he said that Tappa is with yourself. So Tappa is with yourself, and Tappa is obviously it's an obligation. So there's no feeling the sense of achievement is not the right way to think about it, because you need to do it.
Also an example of he gives like how Brahma created the world, right? So that's the biggest Tappa, like that we all are living in this environment. But Brahma did the Tap. Brahmaji did the Tap to create world itself.
He said that Tappa's Brahma is Yagya.
Yagya, yeah.
But I think that's too high-fi for now.
Yeah, but this is an example, right?
Yes, but he did say that, so we have to cover that obviously. Then
also one more thing he said is that Gita is woven into strands. So you have emotion, volitional and like intellectual side. So you initially when Lord Krishna was talking to Arjun,
Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti,
Yeah.
Jnana Shakti.
so when Arjun was given the sermon of Gita, he knew that Arjun is more action oriented, more karma yogi. So he first focused on that, but he didn't. He kept woven those wands of emotional as well as intellectual side of things. So he can keep growing on that level as well. So that's how we should be focusing as well. Like while we're doing our karma, we have to keep our intellectual and emotional side of things high as well, so that we can keep growing ourselves in that level as well. So that's what I think he meant from that, right? Like we
No,
have to
he-
become an
he
ideal
just-
Arjun. That's what he
Yeah, I
meant to
think
say.
what he everybody can correct us. I think what he meant was that the same thing that Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti is mentioned in Gita, and we need to start with the Ichha Shakti and Kriya Shakti because Jnana Shakti is going to come
Jnana
much
Shakti-
later.
Jnana is
But
there,
all
right?
three of them have to be developed parallel.
That's
But
the
we-
Vedic ideal.
Yeah, so we need to focus on our strength, start with that, but also get better on our weaknesses as well. Then he gave the homework about how to do that. We need to do Yagya, Tappa, and Daana every single day, or at least take one principle and try to apply it like in a week every day, and then come up with the problems that we face and try to solve, and then share it with the other sadhakas. And he also mentioned sannyas, which is not exactly relevant to this, but since he has mentioned, so I'll summarize that too. What he said about sannyas was that it's when everything is in its right place. When you do exactly what you're supposed to do, the feeling of oughtness, that
Highest state of-
everything, the highest
State of oughtness.
state of oughtness. So when everything is as it ought to be, that is sannyas.
Essentially, what he mentioned in the end of sannyas is not about giving up. It's about keeping everything in the right place. So basically, sublimating yourself and keeping every perspective of yourself in the right place, like oughtness.
Did we miss anything?
I think that's it. Sublimate your action.
Can you repeat this? What did he say about sannyasa? Not giving up, but
He said to not. I mean, sannyasa doesn't mean just giving up everything. It means to keeping everything in perspective and keeping everything in the right place. So it's the highest state of oughtness, like where things are ought to be.
You give importance to something as it ought to be. So I think that is, I would say.
that leaves a lot of open space of work on our part to understand what is the highest ought to be.
We don't have to get to it right now because we को बहुत ज़्यादा दूर है वो level. It's because we mentioned that, so he gave a clarification that we are in grahast, we have to be good grahastis. Sannyasi far from right now.
I think he gave this example of Dir Bano Veer Bano Swamiji's
Yes.
bhajan.
Yes.
Krishna Sevi Sucharu Bano, something like that. So
Yeah, we have to basically keep our eye high. That's what he meant from that. At the moment, obviously, while we aspire to become, even higher than Ved Vyas or Krishna, we have to also become.
We have to start with
become a good Arjun, or even greater than Arjun,
But we have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Yes. Anything else? Yes.
One Aditya, nice meeting you, man.
Same here, Uncle Shankar.
Bhuvneshwar has
For the first time.
Yeah, I've heard so much about you, but this is the first time I'm seeing you. So good to see you.
I think Bhuvneshwar has also not met Aniket ji. I'm sure you know Ashok uncle, right?
yeah, no, I've not met anyone apart from Ashok uncle, and I don't know if he's the who's sitting near Ashok uncle.
So he's Aniket ji, he's Ashok uncle's nephew, and
Okay,
he's my cousin's husband.
okay, hi.
Yeah.
So he stays in Cincinnati, and
Sharda.
what do you do?
Okay.
Aniket ji, what do you do? No, he's a scientist. Okay, he's a scientist. He in plastics.
Returns to it also.
I know he works in R&D, but I forgot what he means.
I said about the
I work for diaper manufacturing.
pamper का बोला था ना?
Very useful.
At some point, everyone will need my services.
Yes. It's a lot.
This definitely needs it, man.
Bhuvnesh also.
You know Sharda. Bhuvnesh, you know Sharda.
No.
Okay, so Sharda is Balankal's daughter.
Okay.
Elder daughter. And Balankal के साथ में जो थी Sharanya, we didn't see her too much, but the younger daughter. So they're two sisters. So that's Sharda. You know both of us. This is Aditya.
Of course. I'm seeing these days a lot of pics shared by Soumya, which was good.
So yes.
Great.
I think so. We'll have a session on mostly on the 7th.
जब भी view है Sunday को.
Sunday 7th. So we'll have it on 7th.
Sure.
I'll take confirmation from everybody else.
Who among this group is coming to Michigan? Among this group.
I'll be there.
Jiju would be there. Balank's full family would be. I can't come. Ashok uncle, I think, is not coming.
I have few commitments. Let me see.
He hasn't decided.
Yeah, I'm committed to him.
I'm also trying, but
No question.
let's see. Not too sure.
So,
When-
do you record this also? Can you record it?
It's being recorded already.
Let's.
Couldn't hear it.
I've tried. आज पहली बार record करने का try किया. I'm recording, but I'm not sure yet.
अच्छा.
So you will check after the meeting.
हाँ, after I disconnect, I'll check.
So Soumya, are you going to send email about briefing about today's meeting?
Yes.
So can you have another section named Action for 2 weeks? So
I'll-
that we know precisely that what we are supposed to
I'll definitely.
get from there.
I'll do that. वो एक बार का मैं message कर दूँगी and then I will put everything on samvidsamvad.org so that it stays there. So we'll have a record over there. So I'll do both. क्योंकि summary लिखने में because I have to go out, so it's gonna take me a day or two
Yeah.
to get back to it. But ये action जो कर वो मैं अभी post कर दूँगी. I'll post it in half an hour.
So, Shana, when are you coming to New York?
Me. In the summer, hopefully.
Okay. Very nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Jai Shankar, everybody.
Jai Shankar.
Yeah.
Bye.
Have a good day, everybody. Bye.
Bye. हम दोनों रह गए.
नहीं अरे हाँ आपने बात कर सकते हैं.
तो मैंने फिर काफी देर तक शर्म करी, फिर मैंने अनिकेत जी को फोन कर ही दिया था सुबह.
अच्छा किया.
और ऐसा नहीं है, मैं उठ भी गया था, मतलब बहुत गहरी नींद में था, पर वो एक्चुअली जो फोन आया तो वो फिटबिट में रिंग करता है.
हाँ.
एक बार तो मैं उठा और मेरे को समझ में भी नहीं आया कौन फोन कर रहा है, तो मैं वापस सो गया. और फिर मैं अराउंड 9:15 पे वापस उठा और फिर मैंने पूछा अनिशा को, मैंने कहा शायद सोमोदी का ही फोन था. सो जाओ. पर फाइनली फिर मैं अकेला उठ के आया, अपने फोन से लॉग इन किया. आई डोंट नो किसी ने नोटिस किया कि नहीं, बट आई
नोटिस किया. पर बीच में किसी ने कुछ बोला नहीं, बट एवरीबॉडी नोटिस.
हाँ, वो बाला अंकल बहुत सीरियसली कुछ कह रहे थे तो मैंने हाय हेलो भी नहीं किया बीच में.
हाँ.
अच्छा किया आपने. That is appreciated very much. Especially स्वामी जी के बीच में भी कोई आके वहाँ प्रणाम वगैरह करते हैं ना, 2-3 अगर गलती से आ जाता फिर वो कहते हैं उनको. एक गुरु पूर्णिमा में स्वामी सुनील खड़ा था पास में और एक लेडी थी वो आगे आ रही थी, तो उसने इतना गुस्से से उसकी तरफ देखा ना तो बाकी के कई लोग भी डर गए.